Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is Cuisine Royale. This is a new video to discuss the various updates to the game that have come from the Path to Valhalla update that's out for PC now and will be coming to console soon, and includes a variety of changes to the game that includes snow being added to the Normandy map, and that actually has a number of different impacts, not least of which is that you get a nice visual change to the game, but also you can see where the enemy have been, because if you look carefully as you walk through the snow, you'll see footprints get left in it, and car tracks also left in there as shown off by the developers, so you can see where enemy have been. Also shows the way the game can change when you're doing this. Now there are a number of other updates that include a new character, which I'm not going to cover in this video because I haven't unlocked him yet, but I will cover it in a new future video. There are also changes to the game that include a load of new weapons, and these include updated and brand new weaponry from modern combat zones, which is quite interesting as an addition to a sort of World War II game. And these include the Style Org, the FN Scar, the M4A1, the UMP 45, the MP5, the Winchester shotgun, and some other weapons. Now it's interesting because they're replacing what you find in the premium camo fridge. Usually you find the AK in there, but now you'll find those tactical fridges include the weapons like the AUG, the M4, the MP5, and the AK is actually apparently going to just appear around the world now. So you won't find these weapons all over the place, but you might find them on fallen enemies or in those fridges, which is also interesting, and you can potentially find them in the orbital fridges too. So the orbital fridges quite often include a number of interesting weapons, and they're worth calling in, and I've done a video on how to call in the orbital fridge that I'll link to in the description, as well as a list of all the other updates that you can read about in the description if you're interested. But the orbital fridge will also include the grenade launchers, rocket anti-tank rifles, heavy machine guns, and other things. So that is the best way to get the most interesting weapons in the game quite easily and guarantee that you're going to get them. As I said, you will find these new guns laying around in the game, and I'll show off a couple of them quickly in here because I've already found some and they're very nice. And obviously they're going to give us the advantage, but ammo is going to be limited. Now you still get the same abilities, and I can highly recommend using bullet time as one of those abilities, and I've covered the abilities briefly in a previous video because this is not a new update, although obviously the new character has this Thunderstrike ability, which I have seen in action. It basically involves him smashing down into the ground like Thor. It's quite interesting. Here you can see the Style Org that I found on somebody's body. Unfortunately I only have 30 bullets in it. You can see there's no attachments to put on a scope or anything like that, so you just get it as standard. It's kind of like the STG-44 in that way. Now, talking about the other changes, the downed mechanic is one of the most interesting and welcome additions to the game. This has been in a number of other Battle Royale games for quite a while, and it will probably be familiar to you if you play FPS games or any sort of co-op games. If you get shot too much, you go down and you're in a position where you're then bleeding out, but you can crawl around. Now, if you can get to cover, which I highly recommend getting behind cover so you're no longer getting shot by enemies, you can get revived by a friend. It takes a little bit of time, and then when you get revived you don't have much health, so you do need to make sure you've got some food, so either ask them for it or heal yourself. Here we're in an unfortunate situation where we're surrounded, so as soon as I get revived I have to then revive my friend, and then I'm getting shot and I get killed as well. Not great. However, the addition of this revive mechanic is fantastic, and it will really change the way the game works, because it means you no longer have to sit around. As long as your friend survives, you can then carry on playing. It is interesting though, because it does present a challenge. So here, for example, I've been shot and I'm bleeding out, and I'm outside in the blue as well, so my friend can't really come back to me while he's under fire and go out of the zone to come and rescue me. It does raise an interesting point though. If you're being shot at by someone, or if you shoot someone and they go down, you can carry on shooting them and kill them outright and stop them from being able to be revived. And that's worth doing, but it does mean you have to use more bullets, and also you risk exposing yourself to their friends that are coming up. Also, if you die outside the circle, your death counts towards the circle and not the enemy. So you can see here, darkness has killed me and not the enemy, so I just cheated the enemy out of that death. Now, another thing to bear in mind is one thing I've said in previous tips videos, is that crawling is your enemy. My friend's just been killed here, and he tells me the enemy is near him by the boxes. Actually, I hear the enemy crawling nearby on my left-hand side, making a lot of noise, and I find them quite easily because of it. So crawling is bad, don't do it. Crouch as much as possible. Go prone by all means, but don't crawl around thinking you're being stealthy. Now, the other part of the revive mechanic is if you run up to your friend, you will find, if they're fully dead, their heart is on the floor. Sad. You can pick it up, and that is really useful because you can then revive them in a different way. So there's 2 different styles of revive mechanic, and that is really cool. What you need to do is then find a campsite with a burning fire in it, and they're reasonably easy to find if you're not in the middle of the woods like I was and struggling to find it. Once you do that, you can then put their heart into the fire and revive them again. As you can see here, you just go up to it. Now you are again exposed to danger, and unfortunately bad timing meant that when I went to put this in the fire, somebody started shooting at me, which is just unbelievable because they're on the other side of the river shooting at me with a pistol. But I managed to revive my mate. Now, when they come back, they have nothing. He's just got his knife and his underwear, so I have to give him some of my weaponry and some food to make sure he's okay. So that's a tip for you. Make sure you give your friends some bullets when they come back, so they've got something to go with. Now you can see here in Mexico, the fires are a lot easier to spot because you can see the great plumes of smoke coming out of them. And scattered all over the map, there are loads of them. It does mean that the enemy are going to know where they are, but they're not necessarily going to know that you're reviving your friend. It's not immediately going to be obvious that someone's charging over there with a heart. Although if you see someone running towards it, you're probably going to know why they're doing it, unless they're just curious what the big smoke plume is because they're a noob and they've not watched my videos. You can see it close up here in Mexico as well. It's a nice big bright fire, and it is quite exposed. You are quite in danger there. You can see all around. It's easy to see. Here you can see the UMP-45. And quite a tasty little gun. It's going to be fun to play around with these ones. And check out the ricochet. Look at that. Pew, 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 pew. This has been the Provoked Prawn. I hope you found this video useful. Be sure to check out the other tips videos in the playlist and in the description. And stick with me. Subscribe for more in the near future. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting or hilarious. Be sure to subscribe and check out these other videos, as well as taking a look in the description for links and other information you might find useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see extra about this, and have a great life.